Well, general elections held in Nepal over the weekend are set to deliver what's akin to a political earthquake for the Himalayan nation. The final results are yet to come in, but the count so far is indicating a landslide win for the party led by Balendra Shah, a rapper who became the mayor of Kathmandu. And his Rastriya Swatantra party, or National Independent Party, was only formed less than 4 years ago. So is this a new era for Nepal? Well, let's bring in Nepali author and analyst Sanjay Upadhya. Sanjay, good to have you with us today. Now, from all counts, the RSP is probably going to get a 2/3 majority. How would you describe the scale of this result, from a historical perspective?
Yes, it is. We can call it, unprecedented in a way because no government in the past, I think barring one that later had a 2/3 majority, has won a mandate of this scale. Nepal was plagued by unstable coalitions and revolving door prime ministers for long, which was the cause of public frustration. And I think that frustration kind of came out in the elections where the people finally said enough is enough, and they just handed a massive mandate to the new party.
So with this mandate, will this necessarily usher in a new era? Because the outcome of this election, as you mentioned, was born out of last year's, so-called Gen Z protests.
Yes. The expectations are high. Public expectations are high. People want immediate action. And I think one of the areas where the population wants firm action and prompt action is corruption. They want the government to investigate allegations of corruptions in the past and just punish the culprits and start the new phase of politics in that way.
So let's go to, Balendra Shah, likely to be the next prime minister, the rapper, the mayor of Kathmandu. What are your expectations of him as Nepal's new leader, judging from his time as the mayor of the Nepali capital?
Yes, Balen Shah as mayor won very, very much popular support for his record, in cleaning up the city, organizing civic affairs, but he was also a subject of controversy for sometimes his hard-handed approach to city, vendors and the way he went around demolishing these illegal sites and everything. But I think he is seen as a man of action, a man of his word, and the people expect him to really act on whatever campaign promises they had made to the people before the election. And he is somebody who is a no-nonsense guy, I would say. He has in the past made comments and decisions that have impinged on Nepal's foreign policy too, which it was not in his remit. But I think he has matured also over the past year since he approached this national limelight, national political career. So I think he is well equipped to handle Nepal's crisis and its opportunities in the months and years ahead.
Yes, and he's almost got free rein in a way because he's got this, expected to have this massive 2/3 majority at the very least. So
Yes.
his government will and can dominate the legislative agenda once he's sworn in. Are you expecting any major changes, at least in this term of government, however long it lasts?
I think he will have to come up with the mandate comes a heavy responsibility. I mean, it depends on the kind of cabinet he's going to create, the kind of policies he's going to bring, and public patience being what it is in Nepal, as elsewhere, it's going to be a challenge for him to act sooner rather than later, so that the public expectations and the public euphoria doesn't dissipate.
Yes. And do you think, you alluded to corruption earlier. Will this be his top issue, to ensure that this so-called Nepo kids saga doesn't come back?
Yes, I think he is aware of the public expectation in that regard, because that was one of the things that fueled the Gen Z protest, out of which this election came about and now his mandate. So he is aware of the very high expectations he has confronted, and he will, I believe, address some of those concerns and expectations in his very early days of, government.
Yes. So, Sanjay, the old cliche, out with the old, in with the new. Speaking of the old, there, the figures like the former PM, the ousted PM, KP Sharma Oli, Prachanda from the grand old parties, the Nepali Congress, the various communist parties, they contested this election as well. What do you expect from them? Do you believe that they will still have a hand in politics? Do they believe that they could mount a challenge in the future?
I think they do, because they have control of the upper house of parliament, which is required for a lot of far-reaching agendas of any government. And then he will have to contend with the street power of the old parties. They're still very well organized, and they will, after a period, start to assert themselves on the streets, if not entirely in the parliament.
Yes. And just finally, is it too early to talk about foreign policy? I mean, how might Balendra Shah, I suppose, engage, the two big giants sandwiched between Nepal there, China and India?
Yes, they have been calling for a kind of foreign policy based on Nepal's national interest, basically, and then they would have equal distance between, or proximity between, India and China, and then also develop Nepal's other relationships, say with the United States, Western European countries, and that way make a balanced foreign policy approach that would help Nepal and the Nepalese.
Okay, Sanjay Upadhya, really good to get your analysis and sharing your thoughts with us on the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Girish.